Hello YouTube and welcome back to Motivation Monday. Today it's Psychology Everyday 103 and today I have a real banger for you. The pros and cons of having such a small whiteboard is that I have to move it forward and then I have to look down or you won't be able to see what's on the board. But the pros, of course, is the frog perspective. So in certain angles they just look absolutely massive, which is great for my ego. Anyway, think of life as a car. Uh, Time passes by, the bills keep coming in, and atrophy happens. Now, I'm going to talk about this I'm going to explain it in an economic way, but you can think about it, you know, in almost any aspect of life, I do believe. So think of it in a workout perspective or in a relationship perspective or anything basically, but we're going to talk about it in economics. So life is like a car and you have a string attached to the pickup truck. Some people just choose to lay down and get dragged by the car. This is very painful and it will cause you a lot of problems. It's not good. This is like a person who doesn't work out. Eventually, their body will break. This is like a person in an economic sense that doesn't want to work and they end up homeless, living on scraps, or on social welfare. This can be symbolized by Timon and Pumbaa in The Lion King, and basically problems get worse when you don't fix them. This is something that we all know. If you have mold in the basement and you don't do anything about it, it gets worse. If you owe money, it gets worse. You have interest, or you end up at IRS or whatever, and living on credit is much worse. But if you completely give up, it doesn't matter. You will just keep getting dragged by the car, and you will eventually. The problem is that eventually you will not be able to get up. Level 2, this guy is on his feet, and this car is driving maybe 15 miles an hour or 20 kilometers an hour. It's not super fast or anything like that, but he uses the rope as assistance and he jogs along, he holds onto the rope, and this guy is quite comfortable actually. But it does require some more effort than just lying there and getting dragged. This is how most people, I would probably say 80% of people, live their lives. They do the bare minimum, they go to work, they pay their bills, but beyond that, they don't do anything that they don't have to. They don't like working overtime. They do it if they are, mandated to do it, or if the boss begs them, basically. But they don't accumulate any additional resources. Perhaps they have a savings account, and maybe some days they try to run a little faster. By the way, this rope, forget what I said. They are not holding onto the rope. The rope is electrified. If you touch it, you die. The problem is that this does not give any freedom. You are stuck there behind at the end of the rope, and the future will never change. Only for the worse, because you will get older and it will get more and more exhausting. And eventually, as you grow old, you will stumble and become this person. That is when you are at an elderly home and you can't move properly because you never worked out, you never stretched or did anything like that. And then there's this guy, level 3. This guy is tryharding. You see, he's jogging along without any effort, or not without any assistance. He's jogging instead of being led by the rope. And he has more freedom and more autonomy because he can go, this way or this way. He can relax and drop back to level 2. But he also has the freedom because he stays in shape and he does some extra stuff to create that freedom. And this is someone, when we're talking about it in economic sense, this is someone that does extra work, side hustles, but also makes sure to accumulate this wealth and perhaps builds opportunities like starting their own company or entrepreneurial enterprise in order to create a life and a situation that allows for sometimes more leisure time. So if you make twice as much money, of course you can go on big vacation for 3 months every summer. This guy never gets a day off more than what he accrues through, when you work in Sweden, you get a certain amount of time. I think it's 13% that you accumulate into your vacation days, but they are of course paid by that. This is paid by your salary, because if you opt out of that, you get 13% more salary. So this guy puts in a high amount of effort, hard work. It is not comfortable at all. It is the least comfortable position. Anyone who hates running as much as I do know that this sucks. This is very, very annoying. But it is surprisingly fun. Because while a job and your normal work might be very boring, doing extra stuff that is not needed becomes entirely different. Then it is your own external motivation, and you also get a lot of freedom in what you choose to do, because it's not super necessary that it gives you a lot of money. So, running a YouTube channel or starting a business that is mowing lawns, if you work in an office, it's like different, it's voluntary, and it gives you money. YouTube doesn't give me any money, so shitty side hustle for me, I guess. But it is surprisingly fun, and like I said, it gives you more freedom and more autonomy, because suddenly you have options, right? Or you will notice that you will begin to have options. Let's say that your lawn mowing business becomes successful to the point where if you wanted to, you could quit your normal job. But doing so would probably mean going back here. What you want to do is keep building. And once you need to stop your normal job in order to keep growing your lawn mowing business, that is when you get here. Level 4, this is where you win. And after that, it is no effort. It is very comfortable and you have maximum freedom. This is when you have so much money that it starts to, fix itself. Either you're making more of the interest of your money than you need to live, or it just passively runs itself. And then you can add more if you want. Swedish saying, it's so much easier to make money when having money, or that you need money to make money. Some people that is here say that you need to spend money to make money, but that is because of their bad spending habits. So what is the difference? No effort, no effort. And that is the understanding that is solving the Timon and Pumbaa question. Why not just relax, Hakuna Matata, and live off scraps? They talk about, how you should be feel gratitude and stuff like that, but also a lot of ancient, wisdom says that not wanting something is as good as having it. But in reality, that is not true. Because eating bugs is not the same as eating antelopes. And this will cause a lot of stress. It will reduce your life. But most of all, it will make the last part of your life dog shit. Because if you think about it, you will have to keep being in this position forever. And if you think about it in physical fitness, your body will break down. You will end up not being able to get out of bed. People have to care for you, wipe your ass, stuff like that. Not fun. And of course, in a dating, this also represents, by the way, the black pill incel community. You will, of course, end up alone. No children, no happiness, nothing. And the sad part is that this leads to this. So think about that. And just remember that this guy is having a lot of fun. And if you ever want to be this guy, this is the way. Have a great Monday, everyone. Make sure to kill it this week and try hard. And, together we will be victorious. Of course, double biceps. I'm actually in great shape. I'm surprised. Damn. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.